third world takeover. This is what happens when you import the third world. Did you know that New York City is 70% non-white, 40% foreign-born, 50% of the apartments, they don't even speak English, not even their first language. These three women who Mamdani endorsed weren't even born in New York City, weren't even raised in New York City. They're carpetbaggers. Carpetbaggers, Jessica.
I really wish, Jesse Waters, that you would just put your white hood on. Because that's what you are. You're just a white supremacist piece of shit. This is why your friends and family don't listen to facts. Because every day, day after day after day, they hear this fascist propaganda from Fox News. But what this is fear-mongering, right? You're telling MAGA, hey guys, guess what's happening? White America's going away. They're not going to speak English. English isn't even the national language. But that's what white people think with red hats and 6 teeth. They see immigrants, Muslims, Somalians, and they think that they're invading their country. They're taking away your way of life. White people don't have a culture. Our culture was treating black people like shit, treating Asians like shit, treating immigrants like crap. This is why Donald Trump won. This carpetbagger stuff is just pure bullshit. It is straight up white supremacy. Scare the white people every day. Look at the worst of the worst of the worst. Scare them into thinking that their country's going away. Sounds a lot like Nazi Germany, doesn't it? The Jews are taking away your way of life. They're coming for you. You have to vote them out. Maintain English only. This is why Trump won. This is why I started doing this. White Christian nationalism is white supremacy. 77 million people saw 2 people on a ballot. And you said a felon, a rapist, a man that defends child molesters, infidelities, January 6th, dead officers, looking at 15-year-olds naked, stealing from cancer charities, injecting bleach. And you said, yeah, that's my guy. He's so smart. No, that's not why they voted for him, y'all. And I'm going to keep saying it because I have to say it, because this is the problem with this country. Because they didn't want to vote for the black woman, the most qualified presidential candidate in the history of our country. If Barack Obama was a white man, we would have never gotten Donald Trump. Barack Obama, being a black man, broke this country's brains. Go look at the interview with John McCain when he took the microphone from that lady. And by the way, I voted for John McCain because I thought he was a decent human being. And then I voted for Barack Obama the next election. What were the 2 people saying that he took the microphones from? We're really scared. He's an Arab. He's a terrorist. He's going to turn this into a communist country. That's what it was. 9/11 was the first domino, right? They saw non-white people committing crimes and they freaked the fuck out. And they thought that a black man in the White House, that the whole country was just going to blow up like a volcano and fall into the ocean and America was going to crumble. Because every time they see someone that's not white, they think of them as a terrorist. This is what MAGA sees. It is. Every time they see a non-white person, they think they're being assimilated. And who did they worship? That racist piece of shit podcaster, right? The roaming blacks, the white replacement theory. How many times have we seen this in the young Republican Party? Just last week, and I'm going to make a video about this. It was the young Republicans in Tennessee. He put out a mailer talking about the great white replacement theory. Don't let whiteness go away. In Miami-Dade a couple months ago, same thing. Nazi group chats talking about black people as watermelon people. New York, a few months before that, calling people the N-word, how they belong in furnaces, how they worshiped Hitler. This is who they are. This is our fault as a country for not punishing the Confederacy. And Jesse Waters knows what he's saying is a load of bullshit because he's laughing. He's doing it because it's propaganda. The Candace Owens, the Megyn Kellys, they know it's bullshit. But it makes people mad. When you scare people, it makes people angry. And that's what Trump ran on. Blame the brown people. The immigrants, the Somalians are eating your dogs and cats. The immigrants are raping your women. Don't you agree that's bad? Oh, they're emptying the insane asylums. Oh, look at Puerto Rico. It's a shithole country. They're poisoning the blood of America. Sounds a lot like Adolf Hitler, doesn't it? Because it is. Day after day after day. That's why we're here. The Democrats winning the midterms isn't going to fix while we're here. And this is why I'm not running for Congress. Maybe one day I will for president. Because the problem isn't left or right. We have part of this country that is scared to death that their white culture, whatever the hell that even is going away because they're going to be a minority. And it has to be people that look like me. When I talked to my friend, Dr. Akila Kadeh, you know what she said? She goes, Paul, I could talk about this day after day after day as part of the 92% as a black woman, but it doesn't mean anything because it has to come from you because you're a white man and you have privilege. One of my wife's friends said the same thing. She goes, you know what's different? When you see Paul, you think that he's a MAGA and he opens his mouth and you're like, I didn't expect him to say that. Because I stand on business, because this is right. America has never been a great country for anybody except for white people. And if you don't like that, you could ship your ass back to England on the Mayflower. I don't care. It was designed for white people, by white people, to be controlled by white people, and owned by white people, and only white people had rights. The lie of American exceptionalism is a fucking lie. I don't care if you don't like to see it. But we fed this to our kids decade after decade. We can make it a great country, but you have to confront the lie of the foundation of this country. You have to expose it, you have to tear it out, and you have to rebuild it where it's equitable for everybody. Hell, I would even be fine tearing up the Constitution and rewriting it. Because if you really want to be a great country, write a Constitution that doesn't have the 3/5 clause, not an amendment. And for all you white people that are losing your minds because you're more concerned about guns, we'll talk about well-regulated because you don't care about the Second Amendment. You're just whiny little bitches that need guns to feel like alpha males because you're afraid that black people are going to take over this country. Let's just be real. Let's write the Constitution without the 3/5 clause. And if you're white and you're in a tizzy, why don't you think if you were black? How would you feel about that? When the very foundation, and you're told every day that you have to worship it while flags are everywhere, we're the best of the best. And your grandparent was in somebody's tree or in somebody's will as a property, or you're called the N-word, or your great-great-great-great-great-grandparents couldn't even vote, you would have a different point of view. And that's what's wrong with white people. You're not putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. With great power comes great responsibility, white people. It's your responsibility. It's my responsibility as a white man to use my privilege to tear down the white male patriarchy. I don't want to have privilege. And until my privilege is gone, this country will never be great for everybody. Have a white day.